disrespect herself. She'll put her friends at risk. It's just everything for the dick, really. So, yeah, that's a pick me. It's like, please pick me, choose me, I'll do whatever. And it's just pathetic. I'm just generally like over girls that do that. And in terms of navigating friendships like that, if it's really close friend and it's kind of like a toxic situation where you can see, she's genuinely in danger and she sees this, but she doesn't know how to get out of it, that's somebody I'll stand by. But somebody that like consistently comes for your free emotional labor to ask you about advice every time you guys are doing a whole PowerPoint presentation, you show her where the red flags are, she understands the red flags, and then she's like, yeah, no, screw him, whatever, fuck him. And then next week, the girl is there, you see her posting in the bed with the same guy. Nah, those friendships I just don't think are worth the time and energy, because what I don't like is a lot of those girls will be quick to cut off girlfriends. Like, you do one wrong thing, or maybe you couldn't make it to a birthday. Don't make it to your friends' birthdays now, but like maybe some situation, and they're like, I'm cutting you off. Bitch, you haven't cut off your toxic boyfriend the last 3 years. He's been beating you the fuck up, and I get cut off because I had an emergency. Nah, fuck that. So like when it's in that situations where it's like inconsiderate to your emotional labor in the friendship, where it's constantly like, yeah, you're just being leeched off, and this person really genuinely doesn't want to move on or make any room to move on, then I'm kind of like, nah, those are not the friendships. I cut that off. But if it is like in a situation where it's, GBV, all that, there's only the best that you can do, especially when it comes to those situations. So, yeah, that's my take. Yeah. And you, babe?
So I was listening to what you were saying, and like in my mind, I understand like there's a point where you're like, yeah, I'm so done with this person or whatever, but you must also understand that, okay, this is now maybe me taking someone's side,
Yeah.
but like some people go through things and we don't really know why. Maybe there's a deeper reason why she keeps choosing this person. Maybe she has some issues from when she was younger. Maybe she doesn't have a dad in the picture. Maybe her dad is a bad person. So with situations like that, I always try and see the bigger picture. I don't try to judge immediately, even though it's very, I would say, emotionally exhausting, because you do get people that come to you. I think I'm maybe one of the people that will be like, hey, I'm so tired of this, but like you just keep trying to give that person a second chance, and you keep trying. But there's a point in your life where you do come, you're like, I think this is not working anymore. So as a friend, if I have to have someone like you saying a pick me girl, I don't really think it's a pick me energy. I feel it's a more like, obviously they want the attention, but I always try and look at why do they want the attention? Why are they acting like this? Obviously, like you're saying, over time it becomes exhausting. Like, I don't want to listen to your stuff for the next 3 years, But if you really are that person's friend, you know them for a while, like their personal stuff, I feel like I don't want to say it's like your duty as a friend, but like there's a reason why this person's put in your life, either for you to help them or for you to learn a lesson from them. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I try and look at the bigger picture before saying, yeah, you're doing this, because like I'm probably also doing the same thing, so I don't want to be like pointing fingers like, you should leave this guy, you should do this, and then I'm not even doing it, Maybe I'm doing it, but I'm doing it in a more, how can I say, a lesser version. So maybe I'm with someone for like 3 months, and then I'm complaining to you, same thing, like, oh, this guy's so annoying, go back to him. Oh, this guy's so annoying, go back to him. But then this person's doing over a span of 3 years.
Yeah.
So in a sense, we're both doing the same thing. I'm just strong enough to like cut it off. This person probably just doesn't have, I would say, the emotional intelligence that you have. So I always try and give people the benefit of the doubt. But I understand what you're saying. Like, at a point, yeah, you have to cut people off. But I was just trying to motivate them, just like give them advice, because everyone's going through difficult things, and maybe you that person's only person to talk to, and now you're also like, you know what, screw this, whatever. So it's a tough thing, you want to be the bad person, but then you're like, ugh, what if I'm this person's only confidant, So I don't really like talking about things like this, because it's like I want to be a bad person in the sense of like I'm cutting you off, like I'm giving you tough
I hear you.
But then you want to be like, this is my friend. I want them to be better. I want them to be happy.
And you want to be a good friend.
And you also just want to be present, because like maybe you went through things in your life that they were there for you, but it wasn't so big like what they're doing. But small things count. It's just because it's not so big and
Yeah.
you don't
So
feel
when I'm speaking about like when girlfriends usually like center a relationship, and that often happens. Like let's be honest, you get a boyfriend and then now you cut off your friends that have been there, and then when shit goes wrong, then you know us. Like that's the type of thing that I'm not. I feel like, again, the way we socialized to like put romantic relationships above all other relationships is ridiculous, because you'll have a friend for 10 years that you go on dates with, you talk to, you're always hanging out, and then all of a sudden girl gets a boyfriend and she forgets about that vital friendship, and then when shit goes wrong she's coming to you, but there's nothing being poured back into you. It's only that time where it's kind of like, I need this advice, and then when you're in a situation you can't even reach out. I'm talking about where it's like a really strained relationship, which often what happens is like it's a really strained relationship. You can't expect a village of support, and you don't want to be a villager. That I don't believe in that. Reciprocation is important, and like commitment to care in the relationship. With friendships as well is important. As much effort as you put in your romantic relationships, you should put in your friendships, because those are the people that last most of the time. How many boyfriends have you had? But your friends are still there. So you must always consider like, yeah, my friends are there. So I'm talking about girls that, and I think like a lot of girls can relate, where it's like you just have that girl that genuinely doesn't pour into the friendship, but as soon as she gets a boyfriend, she's A game, and then it's coming to you for advice. That's emotional free labor, ma'am. No, you don't pour into our friendship. I'm not talking, that's why I said specifically, like, you can see now my friend's struggling with this, and she's there, and this is a good friend, and this is just a rough patch for her, so I'm going to be there. Nah, that's not the pick me girls. You can kind of see, like, nah, this is based off this, there's reasoning and all of that. But when it comes to the others, I just feel like in friendships, we don't hold ourselves accountable and our friends accountable, and it's kind of like, oh, because that's my friend. And no, baby, you need to have boundaries, and also with boundaries you need to reflect and like know where to compromise, know where to not be selfish, but also like relationships take a lot of sustainability and commitment to care, and it needs to be reciprocated. And most of the times, like in girl friendships, like I said, it doesn't get like that when there's a boyfriend and the girl centers that relationship and completely forgets